Let's create a seamless swipeable post for Instagram. Now, the first thing you'll need to do is sign up for a Canva account if you don't have one. You only need a free one. You don't need to pay for the paid version at all. So head to canva.com and sign up or log in. Once you are logged in, I want you to click on that link in the email. Now you'll see a page like this will pop up, and I want you to click on View Template. And then you've got the option to open in editor. Now this will open up your own version of the template. So this is yours now. It doesn't matter what you do with it. No one can see your designs and you can use it over and over again. But of course we need to edit it and make it look more like your business, your brand. But the first thing we're going to do is actually click on File on the left hand side here. And then under settings, there's an option to show rulers and guides, because I've built in a number of guidelines into this template so that you can see exactly where the actual seams will be on the post. So once we've got this on Instagram, each of those purple lines, they won't actually show in the final design, but those are where the seams are. So when it moves from one image over to the next image. So you'll notice that I've added some elements that actually move across the two lines or across the seam. And that is on purpose because we want that lovely seamless scrollable effect. Now, of course, you need to change this to make it much more like your brand. We can start by changing the background color. So just click anywhere where that pale blue is. Click on the wee icon here where it says background color, and then of course you can change it to any color that is your brand color or works for your business. You might have your brand kit set up in which you'd see all of your brand colors sitting there. I'm just going to choose yellow, and that changes that background color. Now the other color that I've used in here is these little navy blue arrows. So if I was to click on one of those, and then I've got the navy and the white is the actual arrow part. But if I change that navy to an orange, for example, on the left hand side here, we get the ability to change all. So if I was to now go ahead and click that, you'll see that every instance of that navy blue has now changed to orange. So nice and quick and easy there. And then of course we have the text. So we want to add our own message in here. So I'm going to double click on that text there. I'm going to say something like, welcome to my Instagram account. Now, of course, you can talk about anything you want in your post. Okay, now if you have this issue here where the text is too big, you just need to use your little plus and minus up here. We're going to go minus. We're going to make it a bit smaller. There we go. Cool. And I would come across and change all of the text. Of course, again, you can change the color. So we might make that a dark purple. We could then click on change all. That's going to change the color of all the text. So you can see it's now all bright purple or dark purple. And then the other thing is the font. So I have used Poppins. You might want to change it to something that's more of your brand. So for example, if this one here was my brand font, I might click on that, and then again I can click change all, and it updates the font all throughout the design there. Now, the last thing we need to do, well actually no, two things, is one, down the bottom we have our website here. So we need to update that. So my website is socialsmarty.co. Or if you don't have a website, you might change it to your username. So my username on Instagram is socialsmarty.co. So entirely up to you. You will need to go through and change each of those individually. And then of course we have these images. So I've added a couple of frames here. This one is just a basic frame, and in fact you can change that black border. So you can click on this little icon here to change the color. Might make it dark purple. You can also change the weight. So you can click in there and you can make it thinner or thicker depending on how you want it to look. And then we have this little screenshot here. Now what you might want to do for this one is actually add a screenshot of your website or a particular page on your website. So to do that, we would open up our website, we would take a screenshot. So I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to use Command Shift and the number 4 key, which gives me the ability to take a bit of a screenshot there. And then I can come over to Uploads on the left here, and I can click on Upload Files, and I can grab that screenshot from my desktop. Once that has uploaded, I'm not going to click on it, because if I click on it, it's just going to plonk it in the middle of the design. We don't want that. We're going to drag it over and drop it into that frame so that it fills just that frame. Now, if you're not quite happy with the position, you can double click. This will allow you to move it around. Now, because it can't get any higher, we can only go left or right, but that looks pretty good to me. And then, of course, we can add whatever we want in this frame here. We might have another screenshot, or we might upload a photo of ourselves, or we might go into elements and we might actually grab a stock photo. Oh, I've gone a bit far. Where are the photos? Ah, here they are. So we might go in here and find a stock photo that we want to use, like this one, for example. And again, we drag and we drop. When we have frames, we always drag and drop into the frame, and then we double click and we can move things around depending on the aspect ratio of our photo in relation to the frame that we're filling. And then the last thing before we download this is we're going to give it a name. I'm a very big fan of being very descriptive with my names in Canva, because I end up with thousands of designs and I can't find anything. So I just search. So for this, I might call it Instagram Seamless Carousel. Welcome to Instagram, something like that. Cool. Once we've given it a name, we're going to download it. So we're going to click on Share and then Download, and we'll leave it as a PNG file. So we're going to download that as an image, as a PNG. So that will download, and that will go straight into my Downloads folder. So now I've got this one big long image here, and now we need to cut it up. So we need to split it up into these 6 different pieces. So we're going to go back home in Canva. So if you've got a tab open still, you can click on that to go back home. If you don't have a tab open and you're stuck in this page, you want to click on those 3 lines up in the top left there, and then you'll see the little home icon. And now we're going to create the different individual images. We're going to split that image up. So first of all, we need to start a new design, and we need this Instagram post 4:5 ratio. That is the new sizing that we're using for Instagram. Now, you might not have this sitting here. This is here because I've used it recently. If you can't find it here, head to social media and then have a look for Instagram, and you should see this one here, Instagram post 4:5. We don't want Instagram post square. We're not doing squares anymore. We want Instagram post 4:5. So now we click on that, and that opens up a new design for us. Once that's loaded, we're going to click on apps. So we're going to use an app to split up that image. So we click on apps and we do a search for image splitter. And you'll see a whole number of apps will come up. We are looking for this one here. Obviously, the image tells us what it's going to do. It's going to cut up that image for us. So we click on image splitter. And then we want to choose a file. So the file is that one that we just downloaded. And remember, we gave it a nice descriptive name, so we should be able to find it very easily. Got it sitting there. And now it's going to ask us for some settings. So we want 1 row and we want 6 columns. So that's going to give us 6 individual images. So 1 row, 6 columns. And then we just click on split image, and you'll see that we've got all the images sitting down here. So what we want to do now is we want to go add images to new pages. So we click on that, and you'll see, like magic, each of those pages are going to pop up individually. So all split up so that when we post them to Instagram, they're individual images, but they are swipeable. So it's just going to take a moment to do that. Nearly there, 1 more to go. And once that's done, I like to just click on this little guy down in the corner here. This is going to give me the grid view. So now I can see I've got 1, 2, 3. I've actually got 7 images there. So that first one is blank. So I can just click on that and just delete it away because we don't need that one. But you can see now this shows us the effect we're going to get with Instagram. We've got 6 images, but see how those elements, those images, they sort of go across the 2 different frames, I guess you'd call them, and so that's nice and swipeable. So once we're all happy with that, we now give this a good name. So let's call it something like Instagram Carousel 6 images. Cool. And then we download these. So we click on share, we download, and we leave it on PNG, and we download that file there. So that's going to download a folder. So here we can see this folder sitting here. When I click on that folder, it shows me, oh, let's open it up. We've now got those 6 individual images sitting there. So at this point, we are done and we are ready to post to Instagram. Now, you might use particular software, you might use a scheduling tool, you might do it directly on Instagram, entirely up to you. And what I want to do is show you how to use Business Suite. So I'm going to open up my Facebook page, and on the left-hand side of my Facebook page, I've got this link through to Business Suite. And once that loads, we will see we can go ahead and create that post. So at the top of Business Suite, we have the ability here to click to create a post. Now, once that loads, if your Facebook and Instagram are linked, and if you have, both Facebook and Instagram, you'll see at the top here where it's asking where do you want to post to. We have both Facebook and Instagram ticked. You can untick Facebook if you want. This one's more for Instagram, although it's absolutely fine to post it to Facebook as well. Next step down, we're going to click on Add Photo or Video. We're going to go into that folder where our 6 images are, and we can select all of those images, or you can upload them one at a time. We're going to open that, and then we're going to check that they're in the right order. So this is a nice little preview of what our post is going to look like. As you hover over, you'll see these arrows pop up. I just want to have a little scroll through and make sure that it actually looks good and it's all in the right order. That looks great. And see how when we have those elements that span the 2 images, how nice and swipeable they are. Great. So the last step is, of course, to write our caption. So we put our caption here. You might add in your hashtags if you want to, a call to action, anything like that. And then we're ready to either publish, so we can go ahead and publish right now, or if we want to schedule this to go out later or tomorrow or next week, we can turn on the set date and time, choose the date and time, and we can schedule that one to go out. But that is how simple it is to create really effective, swipeable, seamless carousel posts. If you have any questions, come and find me on Instagram. I'm at socialsmarty.co. Send me a DM. I would love to help, but hopefully you've enjoyed this training today.